Once in a while I talk to you about this thing I like to include in hanging baskets, and that is mandevilla, or sometimes it is known as, there's a bird around there, oh my gosh. Mandevilla or Dipladenia. I have struggled to catch the difference. But look for it at your garden center in the spring especially. They take a little while to get going, and then when they do, they're viney and have a lot of blooms. That one in the center has a combination of medium and light pink. Normally they are just pink or red. But let me focus on what I'm trying to say. I guess the recommendation is based on the fact that they really do survive the hot weather. I'm a big fan of petunias, but I've never had good luck with them. They just seem to shrivel in the heat. No matter how much you water them, they just cannot take the blast of wind that we get once in a while. Mika is out here with me now. My fountain is needing a little help. The water's kind of greenish, but you can expect that. It's just a buildup of algae. It happens within hours of putting in new water, so I don't let it bother me too much. Last fall, though, first year I've ever had it, it developed scale, S-C-A-L-E, scale, and it turned really rusty. I thought maybe the whole thing had decided to just rust away. A friend at the hardware store pointed out a product that loosens it, dissolves it gently, and you can just flush it away. I'm going to come around here. Yes, Mika, we're out here to talk to you. Yes, we are. She was nibbling on the rose a while ago and decided that wasn't quite as interesting as she had expected. I use a brush like this. It's kind of a miniature toilet brush, but it's very, well, not like a metal brush, but substantial. And once in a while I come in here and I scrub this. A good blast of water will help, but you do sort of need some help. I siphon this out every week or so. Bird droppings, leaves from trees, just general grit falls in it, and it needs to be cleaned out. I'm also having trouble now with the motor. I think it's wearing out. It just doesn't have the force it should. I have a new one. This new one may be too much. I actually bought it last year for the other fountain, and it turned out to have way too much power and blew water up about a foot. So I kept it, but I bought another one for that fountain. I'm going to try to use it here now. We spend a lot of time in the deck, don't we, Mika? This morning I was doing a live video, and I had a really good chance to film Mika, but the steps were so horrible. I got embarrassed over that, went inside, found the paint. About 10 minutes later it was done. I've been looking at those scratchy steps for since January. every year I put a little effort into it. They're not I can't seem to keep paint on them. Too much traffic. But now I feel better. I did these steps and the other steps, and those down there need to be done. I have 3 sets of steps down from this deck. But isn't it pretty in here? Now this goes inside, and that goes out the other way. I'm not going to show you my table because it's full of projects and paper and tubing and plumbing. what was it, 3 years ago, was it, or 2? 3, in the spring, well, late winter, I started tearing this apart. I didn't like the way the sides of this deck had looked, and so I rebuilt it. It's hard to see right now with the lights and shadows. I've also adapted the roof. I've worked on it a couple of times, and plans are for over there something else new. A little, well, it'll be a big project. And that's all for now. Rusty's way out there. Can you see him? Kind of in the center.